Every day all around there are tons of things hidden in plain sight. Mysterious landmarks, even here in the US, that may have a secret or be covering something up. An idea kind of like a whistleblower who said there was a craft, sort of like a spaceship that was so large it was impossible to move, so some things had to be moved around it and built around it to hide it in plain sight. In fact, this is a common theme in the old world, going way back. Churches especially are known to be built over entrances to the underworld and things like that. Things like bandstands in the old world often relay an underground entrance area. A lot of these are spiritually charged areas, and some even like to attract visitors, and some don't, for reasons. Anyway, this doesn't have anything to do at all with the landmarks, just what they might be covering up. Things hidden in plain sight cover up symbolism, hidden history, and conspiracies. Uncover reptilian secrets on this conspiracy road trip mystery. Aside from ancient beings, giants, dragons, and pyramids in the US, petrified remains and old world destruction, probably evidence of the Little Season, we'll cover things like public rituals, symbolism of satanic ownership, breakaway civilizations, hidden stargates, portals, reptilian cities, imprisoned fallen angels, fully operational secret pyramid weapons, and lots of additional theories and sites to be revealed, and more that I won't preview. The truth about some of these cover-ups, hidden knowledge, and conspiracies. Intrigue, mystery, and curiosity. Questioning official stories. Conspiracy Road Trip starts now. Throw your bag in the trunk, it's time to roll. Wait, that's not gonna work. There we go. We're gonna start east and head west and go coast to coast. Savage Truth's Conspiracy Road Trip begins now in the big city, aka the City of Dreams.
Late night, all night, till the sun circle back. You ain't know the earth is flat, you ain't never heard of that. Catch us in the night hours, night riders must be lunar. Don't know where we'll be later, might wanna see us sooner. We the night riders, yeah.
The iconic and mysterious Statue of Liberty. Lady Liberty. Probably not even actually a lady. All over the world in a bunch of countries you see this same replica, either exact or one that looks just like it. And basically what it is, it's a reference to the sun god, a reference to Apollo. Apollo, literally the name of the Antichrist, Apollyon, Satan, re-emerging from the pit, possibly tying into Little Season theories, which I'll cover in a second. Also, the copper mystery, underground tunnels. Is it on an old star fort? Rumors to hold cryptids, monsters, and rituals, and one of many of weird, literal, underground, underworld networks. Anyway, this connects to the Masons, Gustav Eiffel, and the Eiffel Tower. The same guy built both of them and was a Mason. And it connects with secret breakaway civilizations and societies, just like the movie Tomorrowland went into. This was built on Ellis Island, which, by the way, that means Elijah. Ellis means Elijah in etymology. So Elijah's Island, kind of an interesting name, but also the fleur-de-lis is also what Ellis means. It's connected to the fleur-de-lis symbol, which is a symbol for ancient royalty. Royal secret societies. I'm going to start off with a side theory and questioning things I shouldn't. No proof at all, just questioning. Ellis Island Detention Center, where people didn't come here willingly, but they were brought here and then processed through from the detention center to the re-education asylums into the society as a pre-Matrix Illuminati farm experiment, initiation tying in with the old world fairs into this new Matrix. But it made it look real good to the world too, because that's all they needed. Nations, races to be here for their endgame plan. Original names and old documents. It's called Liberty Enlightening the World is actually the name of this statue. Tartarian mysteries afoot. And speaking of foot, the foot being unchained. There's a chain on the foot. Come back to that in a minute. But again, Columbia, Apollo, all these statues like this, check out all the liberties all over the world.
So y'all, I went down the rabbit hole. Y'all know there's like 9 Statue of Liberties around the world. Here's one. Guess where it's at? Ukraine. Of course. This one's in Tokyo. Paris. El Salvador. Denmark. Look at that, y'all. And look at the address. That's weird, y'all. Paragold. Rio de Janeiro. Northern New York. Y'all, that is crazy. Now I get it.
Aside from many liberties and many Eiffels, which all have other purposes like technology, aside from just looking at that the public doesn't ever know about, there are certain weird US landmarks that have something weird about the energy in the places. Energy harvesting missing people and ritual type stuff. Mysterious places, purposes, and bizarre, probably not real history of accounts. At St. Paul's Cathedral, there is a Lucifer statue looking like Lady Man Liberty, and also paintings from the past with the same. Super deep, maybe not 100% exactly, but element of Satan being a woman pretending to be a man is a major esoteric secret. Anyway, Attis and Helios, all sun gods, sun worship, all tie into this. Light bearer. Light, by the way, is wisdom. Serpent viewed as the wisdom giver. Light is wisdom because light literally shows you what was darkened. Again, tying into enlightenment, Illuminati being illuminated, and this liberty torch. The light bearer, Lucifer. Also, speaking of the liberty torch, there was an old PR campaign to manipulate women completely and get them hooked on cigarettes as a form of rebellion. And this was called the Torches of Freedom campaign. Kind of reminds me of the Lady Man Liberty's torch. Women being targeted to give up their God-given role, which will actually fulfill their soul when done right, into trying to pretend to be men, basically. With lots of other things as well. But liberty enlightening the world, illumination, and Illuminati. Again, enlightened ones, and the bringer of light. Light bearer is what Lucifer means. The crown was 7 points, relating to the sun, obviously, but really a ripoff of God's light, God's 7-stand menorah, the candlesticks that are all 7. Again, light and wisdom coming from God, and even 2 of those 7 spirits on the 7 menorah of the Lord is wisdom and knowledge. Again, a copy of God. Subverted, corrupted wisdom initiation. Satan basically just wants to replace God. There's even a verse in the scriptures that say that the Antichrist will sit in the temple of God to show himself as God. That's exactly his endgame, what he wants to do. He wants to be God and show everybody, look, I'm God. But he's not. Kind of like a kid playing dress up in his dad's clothes. Also, speaking of dress up, there is this whole cross-dressing and robes and blurring the line of masculinity, as Lucifer's goal and these statues show. Kind of went to it earlier, but this is also, aside from the Torches of Freedom, the whole corporate structure of automaton species has men shaving their beards and women cutting their hair short and wearing shoulder pads and suits to appear more manly. This is all this one duality being, these little mind-controlled automaton plan of Satan to make everybody one androgynous being, basically, giving up their God-given roles. So one of the theories is that this statue commemorates Lucifer's release after the 1,000 years, basically. The little season theory is that in 1776 he was released from the pit, and this statue has to do with it, showing just that, even with the symbolism with the chain on the foot. Which, by the way, this is 250 years since 1776. Little season, maybe about up, if that's what we're in. George Washington did seem to think that after the 2 terms of the trumpet, which he prophesied, had a dream about, that the end would come. The 3rd and final American war would occur. Also in the 1800s, Lockwood, who wrote the Baron Trump novel, also wrote The Last President. Kind of interesting. The 3 oracle visions of George Washington happened a year later, in 1777, right along the Liberty release timeline, which was given to George Washington by angelic visitation, described as a shadowy, dark being that gave him this vision. One who knew the future because they see it and they know it, or they make it happen. The Freemasonry plaque. There is a plaque on the Statue of Liberty dedicated to the Masons. The torch of illumination is the Promethean torch of Lucifer, is the same one carried in the Olympics. This is all, even the Greek gods and Greek mythology, this is all tying into the same thing. It's just Lucifer's society over time. It's Mystery Babylon. Freemasonry, given by the French Grand Orient Temple. The plaque, Masonic dedication to the freedom that enlightens the world. That sure sounds like, especially with Albert Pike's quote about Lucifer being the light, the freedom that enlightens the world, that does really seem like the whole Little Season theory. Holder of light, light bearer, seen as the enlightener and wisdom giver. Also, this torch replaced the fasci on the dime. Statue of Liberty, high places, 179,000 pounds of copper. Sitting on top of a sacred geometry star fort, dedicated, again, by the Masons, but all the stuff gathers lightning, especially with the copper element, tying into secret tech usage and maybe underground rituals and what they're converting this power into. Star forts always aligned with ley lines and even tunnels again, but tying into the scalar field and etheric energy, and a lot of these military forts all over the world, especially the ancient ones, were tapping into this. Electricity is spiritual. Is this the true identity of the devil and Lucifer rising from the pit from 1776? Interesting point here with the Liberty Bell, 1776 being cracked. Bells are often used for season's greetings. You'll see that. Season's greetings with the Liberty Bell and bells, basically. After all, 'tis the season with bells. Liberty Bell and Satan's little season. 'Tis the season of Satan's liberty, being unchained and freed. Liberty enlightening the world. After all, Santa is an anagram for Satan, occurring during the pagan winter solstice Saturnalia celebration. If the little season interests you, I give a complete biblical breakdown of the timeline that you can find on my page. It's about what happens after the 1,000 years. Interesting also about the Liberty Bell, Philadelphia is where it is, and Philadelphia literally means dolphin lover. Not a coincidence. Also, the Oracle of Delphi, again, Delphi right there in Philadelphia. Delphi meaning dolphin, by the way. All the dolphin oracle, weird sentient alien dolphin stuff I've covered, but the Oracle of Delphi, basically the dolphin oracle, tying into Apollo. She was the official mouthpiece and speaker of Apollo. Another Apollo connection. It just keeps pointing to Apollo. All these major space missions named after Apollo, pattern of AI, robotics, and other companies and things. And supposedly old doctors' oaths all to Apollo. I did a video on this with this weird Apollo mega pattern that you find all over the Matrix. One final point about Liberty, Apollo, Satan, and the Little Season before we hit the road. In one of the new Spider-Man movies, you see Liberty holding a pentagram instead of the torch, literally holding a pentagram. And then the movie ends with Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme, at the end casts a spell to make the whole world forget. That sounds exactly like the Little Season and maybe what we're in now.
Go. We gon' ride out, ride out, ride out. We gon' ride out, ride out, ride out. We gon' ride out, ride out. Push the gas down, it's time to get through. No time to waste, throw in the jet fuel. Destination breakthrough, nephew, we ain't forget you. A change is gon' come, he on the way to the rescue. Ride out, he on the way to the rescue. Ride out.
Ride around, seeking out some higher ground. Tired down, dragon hunting in Chinatown.
All right, refreshed from that bomb hotel and a good night's sleep, we're off to the tomb of the unknown soldier. Something unknown about this place for sure. They are authorized to just instantly GTA you down or anybody that gets too close. And let me clarify it, they are authorized and will probably murder people if you step too close or in the wrong place. All to protect a supposed dead body in a tomb. In fact, every minute since 1937 it has been guarded by armed sentinels who have permission to fire 24/7 patrol. Again, does that seem much for a dead guy's grave in the official story? There is a strict and selective process with intensive, specialized training that most people fail. in order to be one of these sentinels at the tomb of the unknown soldier? What kind of specialized training would you need for that? Anyway, all of those resources and money spent in training just to maybe have to deter a rogue civilian from walking too close to something. I'm giving that a nah, bruh. In the Indiana Jones movies, took place in 1936, 1 year before this happened, the tomb of the unknown soldier being guarded all the time in 1937. And there's a reference also about special things being buried in unknown tombs. And this is a mega theme in a bunch of movies. Lots of gold and other things always being buried in unknown tombs. Or hiding something else. Anyway, another weird tomb, Grant's tomb. If you just check this place out, and there was the old riddle. In fact, I'll just show you this clip because the guy explains it pretty good.
You ever heard that old riddle? Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
I haven't.
Who is buried in Grant's tomb?
Me?
You know, it's antiquated. People don't really say that anymore. But I always remember that, and it was like, okay, so Ulysses S. Grant. Who's buried in his tomb? Oh, Grant's buried in Grant's tomb. Like, who else would be there? But in this research, I'm like, huh. Who's actually buried in Grant's tomb? Because that's a weird question.
This is President Grant's tomb, except he isn't buried here. Grant's tomb was dedicated in 1897 and is the largest mausoleum in the United States. It was designed after the mausoleum of Halicarnassus, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. On the lower level, you'll find Grant's sarcophagus, where he is entombed, not buried, and it is surrounded by busts of his comrades in arms.
Who is buried in President Grant's tomb and is not entombed because he's not buried, he's entombed?
Like everything else that's old world, it was repurposed. So yeah, is it possible that they took his dead bones and the dead bones of his wife and stuck them in that place and stuck a couple busts of his general buddies in there? I mean, I think that part of the story is true, but heck no, they didn't build that thing. Again, it's weird. I think they said he died in 1880 something, and then they didn't finish constructing this until 12 years later. For
12 years, they built this amazing structure out of solid stone.
This whole Virginia, D.C., Washington, D.C. layout is weird. Also, the George Washington statue where he kind of is made on purpose to look like Zeus. Olympian god mode, again tying in with Liberty's Olympic torch and these ancient gods who have marketed themselves as many different names to different cultures, but they're all the same. All the iconography showing you it's dedicated to the fallen. Fallen gods, fallen angels, Nephilim, Anunnaki, Satan, demons, all part of this structure. Which demons, by the way, if you didn't know, they're said to be the spirits of dead giants, basically. They had nowhere to go. They were not allowed to ascend or go to the other places in the afterlife. So when the giants died, their spirits are stuck here on earth, and those are officially demons. The fallen angels are different. Fallen angels are the one that gave their DNA and had offspring. Those offspring were the giants who, when they died, became the demonic spirits who look for bodies and portals to do things through, because they have intense urges and they have no body to fulfill them with. And they also need bodies to act, speak, and do their bidding. So due to the mixed hidden nature of their essence, they are stuck here in that form. Anyway, the whole DC layout in general, aside from this monument, which worldwide they have these same monuments, they're charged objects, some with special trees inside, and had to be transported all around the world. An idol-like energy gathering, and again, rituals and things have been done to all of these. And even rituals happen underneath them. Anyway, the DC layout is laid out with a pentagram. The shape of the entire city is a pentagram, with the very tip of the pentagram being the actual White House. Is that the seat of Satan? Also, the District of Columbia. Not only is that weird, have you ever thought that that's weird? Again, the Columbia god and the Liberty statue, but a District of Columbia. Why would it even be named that? Is it not a district of the United States? Is it not a part of it? Separate entity word magic, and again, as god goddess dedication. Things hidden in unknown tombs, guarded in mausoleums and unknown soldier tombs and graves around the world. We may not ever know, but we do know one thing, that Jesus' tomb was completely empty because he literally resurrected out of it and documented how these trained, armed Roman soldier guards were completely short-circuited by angels that showed up. And again, this is also a mega pattern in the Bible, that when angels show up with their electric presence, they just completely short-circuit humans out and they fall down as dead. They're also completely terrifying. That's why they always have to say, do not be afraid. So not fearing the unknown, we're going to hit the road again and get ready for our next stop.
Worship real weapons, no wrong time for that rat-a-tat. Forward thinking on that, stay rolling, homie, grab the map. Forward thinking on them. Forward thinking. Forward thinking.
And what is the direction of your life? The direction of your life has a name. The direction of your life, its name is Messiah. I'm with him on the road. Whatever road he goes, that's my direction. That's the direction of my life. Wherever he leads me, that's the direction of my life. Wherever you go, I go. I go. I go.
Mount Rushmore on the mysterious Black Hills of South Dakota. Aside from origins shrouded in mystery and what the original faces may have been or looked like before these faces were there, we're actually going to focus for a minute on the mysterious Hall of Records. National Treasure mentioned this. They mentioned a hidden passageway with cursed treasure. And this is actually real. There is a secret chamber behind Abe Lincoln with an 18-foot door. Just like all Tartarian huge doors for giants and beings, probably. What is actually inside this clandestine vault? Richie Rich also tapped into this mystery, the movie Richie Rich. And the main villain wanted to get in and rob it, basically. So what is in there? Secret documents, top secret records, the true history of America and the world, possibly, about true Nephilim giant and covered up history? Or alien technology, treasures, riches, sacred empowered artifacts, entrances to the underworld, beings in stasis, or more. Of course, it's all restricted, so some of this we just have to speculate on, and only certain places at the cattle population, obedient serf NPCs are even allowed to go. There's limited places that we can even go. But the allure of hidden chambers and concealed knowledge, enigmatic treasures and classified information is always fascinating. Also, the Mount Rushmore has ghostly guardians that have been accounted for a lot of times. Tons of paranormal folklore and traditions around this place date way back all the way up to the present. A gigantic eagle is a major theme, where people see a gigantic eagle. This gigantic eagle is also mentioned in the book of Revelation, ironically enough. Also, another report that ties in with the first report, there are lots of reports about a giant humanoid with an eagle head that happened at Mount Rushmore and in these mysterious Black Hills. Also, the Anunnaki and ancient Egypt also showed you these beings with eagle heads, and it relates to the Tetramorph, the throne guardians of Yahweh. Again, the lion, eagle, ox, and man. One of them guarding Mount Rushmore. It's been seen hovering over the monument, on the faces, or just guarding the area in general. Many have also seen ghost apparitions and heard voices there. Weird faces etched in stone, which God actually forbids. He warns against things with faces being carved or made. And in the temple, he prohibited any carved images or anything with a face, period. Probably because ghosts actually can possess and animate things with bodies and faces, regardless of what the material is made out of. There are ways they can be made to speak or animate. Actually, Warehouse 13 showed this exact scenario here at Rushmore, ghosts making these faces talk. If you didn't know, there are tons of disappearances at Mount Rushmore, missing 411 style. After all, this is a national park. Many hikers and visitors have vanished without a trace or any explanation here at Mount Rushmore. Reports of people being disoriented, confused, or having the lost time phenomenon. Again, all exactly like the missing 411 cases, which are always national parks and monuments, spiritual areas for sure, like I mentioned. Also, many believe that there is a hidden doorway that acts as a cosmic gateway to parallel realities, or the spirit realm, basically, right here in this location. And they open and close at random. And when they open, there's strong wind gusts from nowhere, voices and strange noises that are reported. Authorities have actually conducted several investigations over time about all this, but never able to solve the enigma. This place is also a UFO hotspot. Again, electromagnetic qualities and huge substance-rich rock piles, just like the granite and water in the missing 411 commonalities phenomena. Piezoelectricity, which can occur from these huge rock areas, and water. And Rushmore is granite, by the way, which ties in again. Also, there is this. If you look at these pictures from this angle, do these look like giant elephants? Petrified elephants. Which there are actually other giant petrified elephants in the realm. I've covered it before. Lots of petrified titans and giant creatures all over the realm. The original name for this place was the Six Grandfathers. Even a legend of a seventh grandfather and a hidden face that you can see in the 1700s book that face, I think, has been eroded or taken down or no longer there. But anyway, the Six Grandfathers, it was named for the six principal directions, north, south, east, and west, and then above and below. But there was a legend again about the seventh grandfather, and when the seventh grandfather was found, which is, although by the way, it's near a place called Devil's Bridge, that it hid a secret. This six grandfathers, or even seven, reminds me of the seven primes and the Transformers that all clustered together and became a mountain, and they formed a cluster of rock, and again requiring this secret key or whatever to unlock the seven primes, which you see happen in the movie. That reminds me of this exactly. Also, the official reason they stole this sacred area from the natives and just did whatever they want to was to increase tourism. Like, that was important. But it's always about, the real reason is always about esoteric things hidden from the public. Things like Stargate areas and things like that I mentioned earlier. Also, the name was changed to Mount Rushmore in the 1880s, and the official story is almost the most unbelievable thing about everything I've said about it so far. They renamed Mount Rushmore for a New York attorney who visited it one day. That's right. He didn't build it. He had nothing to do with it. He just visited it. And now that's the name of it instead of the original name. Can you imagine you go to an ancient sacred area named by elders or medicine man of land tribal ownership, and then you just visit it randomly one day, having nothing to do with it, and they rename the whole place after you for just randomly visiting one day. Anyway, before we move on, people like to talk about their Mount Rushmore of this or that in popular culture. I'll go ahead and show you the Mount Rushmore right now of the four most important unpods that you can check out if you haven't seen them. Not necessarily the overall best or my fave, but maybe. But the most important for just understanding the big picture if you really want to study. And those four have to do with parasites, the grand illusion, brain drain technology, and spiritual warfare. What secrets do these mysterious black hills hide, and similar places? Off to hit the road, on our way to the next location.
Long, forth there, whatever, homie, go long. Time to throw that gold on. Got that gray poop on. Faith, I gotta roll on. Fire, throw that cold on. Hold on. If it ain't got, it's gotta go. I don't need no green light. I just let the powder mold. Swerving on these, yeah, I'm on that honest roll. I ain't turn it down till I hit them streets of solid gold. Solid gold.
It's all gotta go. Hit the road, adios. We are more than country folk. Holy Ghost, you want some more? Washed out, we on the road. Give your left like on the road. Keep it on the honest road. If not, then it's gotta go. Gotta go.
Gotta go. Then it's gotta go.
The case of America's secret pyramid weapon. Mickelson Safeguard Complex, a weird abandoned pyramid in the middle of nowhere. The same pyramid that's on the back of the $1 bill. The same pyramid platform of the New World Order and the All-Seeing Eye. And the same one that also ties back to Babel. Which, by the way, Babel is a quantum computer city stargate to the higher realms. check out how Babel looks just like the quantum computer shape, reaching to the heavens. Anyway, this pyramid platform secret mega weapon, one that cost $6 billion and was only operational for 1 day. So the most advanced nuclear anti-ballistic missile facility ever built, which is what this was said to be, was allegedly on for 1 day and then just shut off forever and been made off limits since then. No visitors permitted. Lots of secrecy, a bad cover story, and again, only operational for 1 day. And that's $6, not million, but $1 billion in the 1970s money. Said to be the biggest waste of taxpayer dollars in history. So what is really going on at this mysterious Giza-like structure, missing the top cornerstone, Ben stone, known as the MSC or Michelson Safeguard Complex? Since the nature is secret, what can we notice for ourselves? Obviously, the pyramid in the middle of nowhere, even referred to as Nixon's Pyramid. And it really does look like a real-life Call of Duty stage. But we know about energy and pyramids. We've covered that before, and the relationship and reason it was built in the shape like that, I'm sure. Obviously, the symbolism. But again, Amaru Ka, if you break down America, Amaru means sacred serpent and Ka means breath. And if you look all around, there's just tons of dragon, serpent, all over the Americas as one giant land. And tons of pyramids and hidden pyramids as well. Pyramids in Oregon, Louisiana, and again all over South America, which was just one dragon, serpent, giant land body, the entire Amaru Ka. Connecting to the whole world through these ley lines and Babel copy pyramid platform structures. This is where the fallen angels originally descended. You'll see the Americas and really over in East Asia are two of the main landing spots where fallen angels landed, started countries, did things, and it can be completely tracked and traced. And in fact, if you go to my comps, Theory of Everything, it's divided into 3 parts. That will completely explain all of it to you, the theory of everything. Anyway, we know that this place, Michelson Safeguard Complex, was fortified with nuclear, radioactive energy and weaponry, which again is fallen angel alchemy, arcane secret, lots of other purposes and abilities. And definitely underground structure all around here, obviously. Wonder if there's end of the world type old school functional bunkers and communication systems in there, like shown in movies like Civil War by Marvel and other types of things like that. What role will it play in the future maybe, or in the past or present? Let's investigate further. Mass weapons hidden in plain sight. Pyramid tech. Alright, non-operational, that's just completely off the table. I don't think anybody believes that. And I actually don't even think that they care if we believe it or not, because at this stage they're far enough along the end game where they just treat us like dummies and it doesn't matter. Anyway, this brings us to the point where if you try to Google real information, that is exactly like going to the light switch when the power is off and just continuing to try to turn the light switch on. That's what searching for real information on Google is like. And it's designed that way. But let's do it anyway and see what else we can uncover. This officially said to be a radar system and intended to find and destroy missiles launched at the US. I guess similar conceptually to like an Iron Dome or the new Golden Dome tech in the future that has been discussed. Well, we know it housed a lot of missiles and specialized in anti-ballistics and said to be one of 12 safeguard systems that were planned. And this was the only one that the public ever knew about, that they were allowed to know about, which means there are still at least 11 more hidden mega weapons or militarized structures in this country somewhere, just like this place. 11 that the public doesn't even know about. Again, this ties in with the concept that the whistleblower about there was a craft so large it just had to be hidden with things built on, over, or around it to just cover it up. That's worth a repeat. 11 more of these hidden mega pyramid weapon structures, or just weapon structures in general, hidden all over America. The Safeguard Complex has nuclear hardened 4-foot thick concrete walls, tons of missile silos and nuclear warheads, and is strategically located 40 miles from the Canadian border. Seems to be related to nuclear energy impairment connection in the area as well. Tons of people getting sick all over the place. And even in Canada, tons of people getting sick near this place. Also has a weird Epcot-like sacred geometry, crystal ball-like structure near it. And also, on a side note, makes you wonder what Epcot really was. Epcot has a weird rabbit hole. I wonder if you were in the GATE program, did you go to Epcot? Anyway, this all kind of ties in with things I mentioned, old world fairs, and mega huge Ferris wheels were just huge wheels, energy generators basically. I'll be getting into a lot more of that in the future. Tons of fascinating things that maybe you haven't heard.
Tartaria Part 8. World's fairs were resets. They said the 1893 fair introduced electricity, but Tartaria had it centuries earlier. The fairs were staged to hide old world tech. The buildings? Torn down after. The first Ferris wheel? A rebuild of Tartarian energy wheels. The new light bulbs? Already glowing in pre-fair photos. Even the fair's map matches a 1776 Tartarian Expo layout. Every fair building was destroyed afterward. Why? Because they were old Tartarian structures being reset as modern inventions. The White City? Literally whitewashed history. These intricacies weren't just flukes, they were mastered craft from Tartaria. Craftsmen trained in secrets of the past laid the foundations of what was later termed innovative design.
Bring it back.
Anyway, if you went inside of Epcot, I wonder what happened. If you remember Batman Forever, there was a certain room that when Bruce Wayne or anybody walked into it, read their thoughts completely, and Epcot has a similar tie-in with that. Anyway, this weird geometry Epcot ball was also rumored to be headquarters of the Illuminati, and notice I said rumored, but who knows? Probably why this place looks like the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill again, missing the capstone. Just waiting for it to descend. Probably again all connected to underground tunnels and dumbs. Maybe even built for reptilians and just left for them. Who knows?
Well, somebody's getting abducted tonight.
Also, over the past bunch of years, some people have been finding out that the pyramids were technology, which a lot of people have already known. But I'm sure that letter agencies declassify things when they want, only in part, and only with the information they obviously want the public to know to manipulate the, again, public mentality. All information and the release of it and the timing is always a content-controlled, manipulated psyop if you haven't figured it out. Approved mental program for the public to keep them batteries in the Rockefeller matrix. Ford had the quote about thinkers, about basically, I don't remember the quote, but paraphrasing was something about America doesn't need more thinkers, it just needs more factory workers, basically. Smart enough to be a mindless, repetitive robot on a factory line, but you're not smart enough to question deeper things and be a spiritual being. All this technology, and we're trying to recreate it and get the old grid going again that the Fallen had. Honestly, who knows what type of effect this has had on the public, and even things like the Mandela effect and things of society, mania, mind control, people getting sick. And again, how has the public changed since the 70s, since this was, I guess, operational? All this tying in with the Cold War, super UFO spike activity, again the orange orb tie-in, and massive amounts of data points that are all connected with this. Other thoughts about the Cold War were Russia and USA really like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock going through a scripted public feud, but best friends in real life behind the scene. All gearing up for some sort of other purpose that has to do with the spirit realm and the alien deception. Also, all governments are kind of like this, and they're all subjugated to the divine council and visible spirit rulers behind the scenes. Now, whether you hate or like wrestling, it literally teaches you everything you ever need to know about the fake world stage of public and politics. Scripted feuds to put on a show to manipulate the audience, while they're best friends behind the scenes making money off of you, all working towards a goal, and none of it being real. Speaking of, and a wild clip, an eerie future prediction or creation in advance, listen to this specific crazy wording about the Twin Towers being destroyed. And then it happened.
Macho Man Randy Savage, the lovely Elizabeth, 3 people working as one with one goal in mind: to defeat, or should I say demolish, the Twin Towers. Hulk Hogan, you talked about the triangle of love. Jesse Ventura says there's a problem. Explain.
Well, you know, Mean Gene, you get right to the heart of the matter with that question, brother. It's the love, man, that's gonna supercharge the mega powers and tear down the Twin Towers.
Yes, man. What were your thoughts then?
Oh, yeah, Mean Gene, I can still feel the pain when that cold steel bit into Miss Elizabeth's wrist right there. And when her muscles were torn, my muscles were torn. When her bone was bruised right there, I felt the pain. Hulk Hogan felt the pain, and I can still feel the pain right now. And Hulk Hogan, that pain won't stop until the Twin Towers come crumbling down. Oh, yeah, right now, tonight, on prime time, yeah.
By the way, Hulk Hogan, who said that clip about the Twin Towers, also started the NWO in wrestling. He started the New World Order in wrestling. Again, all that's not a coincidence, and how the World Trade Centers, the Twin Towers coming down, literally the New World Order sort of kicking off their endgame. All kind of weird. Public alchemy rituals. That clip was from 1988, by the way. 13 years in advance. 13. Anyway, the timeline of this pyramid weapon is also right around Project Blue Book. Not to be confused with Blue Beam, by the way, but it's also about UFO and UAP studies and the acceleration of that phenomenon. It was also near the moon landing timeline. They actually tried to convince you that that was real. One of the biggest psyops ever, the President of the United States of America, from a landline in the Oval Office, called the astronauts on the moon. And modern cell phones still can't get signal in the woods at some places, even with all these 5G quantum towers. Calling the moon from a landline in the 60s. Maybe. But now reevaluate and imagine them trying to convince you of what this is and that it was only operational for one day. An interesting related rabbit hole just about structures and things all over the realm are signal towers. These are 24/7 radio frequency patterns that are kind of a mystery. Lots of towers, they keep emitting the same frequency in signal towers, and basically if the sequence ever stops, it's believed to trigger like nuclear launches even coming to America from other places and other signal tower mysteries. Do you know how many places like this exist that people just don't know about? 50 years later, and it's still off limits. The angle, again, I find most intriguing that I've mentioned is just things built over or around other things to hide them, tying into the whole golf course conspiracy and burial mounds. This is exactly what happened, to hide all these ancient giant burial mounds, structures underneath. Space Jam, again, the golf course was the portal to this underworld. Lots of things that don't add up. Also, if you look, there's tons of wind energy being generated all over this place. Wind energy at the complex here. Obviously used to power something. Tons of harps and cerns all over the realm. At least 50 Eiffel Towers, exact Eiffel Towers all over the realm. Again, this is not just to pay homage through the Masonic symbolism, although that is a big part of it. These are a technological use. Mind control being the main one. Not even talking about obvious ones, clock towers, magnetic arches, Tartarian buildings and spires, and all this old world Tartarian tech that's still in use that they don't tell us about. But also, the world's largest Tesla coil, an unknown site, Istra in Russia, is just a mega lightning weapon. Largest Marx generator in the whole world. Gwen Towers, the quantum net, invisible cameras. And you heard that right, invisible cameras. Also related to fake clouds, things that look like clouds that aren't, that spy on you. Cool thing about the Eiffel Tower, how there's so many of these around the realm, that word Eiffel means strong or brave. The Eiffel Tower literally is the strong tower, which is one of the biblical names given for God. God said that he is your strong tower. What you're going to need to protect you from all these mind control towers. Throw on the helmet of salvation, keep your mind focused on the Lord, and avoid all this reptilian psyop matrixing. We're about to hit the road, off to the next stop.
Like clockwork, midnight memories, 13th hour reminisce. Praise and worship for that wax spirit of heaviness. Dish the piety, don't lie to me, go quietly. The night riders, we our own secret society. Nocturnal watchman, fourth watch, discipline. The truth will set you free, my boy, if you really listening. We the night riders, yeah. We the night riders. This night is fire, yeah. On the highway to heaven, we the night riders. Yeah. Jumping out of high wheels, we the night riders. Yeah. Late nights, yeah. Hey, yo, him and my co-group. Yeah. Hey, yo, this night is fire. Jesus grabbed the wheel, first gear, automatic, dump the clutch, we cut the brake because we just can't stay in static. Yeah.
The mysterious Hoover Dam. Fallen angels, dragons, star symbolism, theories like fallen angels underneath, literally imprisoned, just like the Euphrates River prophecy, about how there are actual angels, fallen angels, imprisoned and buried physically underneath the earth, underneath the Euphrates River and other places. Some people believe that this Hoover Dam is one of these places. Tying it in with Metatron and Megatron. In fact, this clip explains it perfectly, so I'll just let it play.
They got to the Hoover Dam specifically. Like, come on, of all places they could have been hiding the Allspark and Megatron. It's at the Hoover
why
Dam.
not like Area 51 or something like that? Why
Exactly.
would it be under a hydroelectric dam?
Exactly. And then in Witwicky is the kid's name, Shia LaBeouf, and his great grandfather. Get this, while exploring the Arctic Circle.
Yeah, of course. The place where there's a treaty and everyone's not allowed to go.
Right, exactly. When he supposedly was exploring the Arctic Circle, he discovered Megatron. And so it kind of starts with like a lot of the stuff that we would call conspiracy, and he was frozen. They ended up finding him and taking him to the Hoover Dam and keeping him at the Hoover Dam and the Allspark at the Hoover Dam, and they explain it. They say, they give the timeline, they show that the way that it's in there, and I just got this weird feeling as I was watching it that, like, I think that there's so much truth to that whole story, because as they're walking him in to show him where the Allspark is, they show the giant black cube. It's got the hieroglyphics all over it. It's giant. And they ultimately say that President Hoover wanted to build the dam around the Allspark with 40-yard thick cement walls to keep the signal from being able to be detected from the outside, or what they call outer space. So just that whole story, like, that's such a specific storyline.
Okay, so it's a movie about a black cube and Megatron, and then when you think about it, like, the angels are sitting on black cubes, and also Metatron is like basically the leader of the angels. Metatron has a cube, and it's a cube that's based on cosmic geometry in order to create things. This is not coincidental that this stuff connects so easily.
Funny how the Transformers coming up again, because it is actually the fallen angel lore, completely. The entire franchise is. Even with movie titles like Revenge of the Fallen, and even Dark of the Moon, one of the titles, there probably is absolutely something to the dark side of the moon, even the Pink Floyd album and lots of other things with that esoteric theme. Anyway, into other theories about this place. The hydroelectric dam being weapons against the old world. Even in the movies Frozen 2, there was a dam marketed as a gift, but it was used to weaken the people. Now, I've never actually seen the movie, so I can't tell you more about it, but this theme about weakening the people through things that are marketed as good, and specifically a dam. Super hydroelectric flowing water power plant mega power generator with this super capacity to it. A whole lot of energy being produced here. What exactly is it all powering? It takes a crazy amount of energy to contact the fallen. Water specifically is used to do this. Hoover Dam, obviously, but think also of AI's ungodly water usage, the insane amounts of megawater it uses, and why does it need clean drinking, like bottled drinking water? Why does AI need that? Anyway, you probably noticed the costs being divided up into everybody's increasing water bill with no explanation. But anyway, all this poses another question. What is inside or underneath the Hoover Dam? Theories like underground cities or a society, kind of like the reptilian city underneath LA that was reported. All close to the Denver airport, the international NWO headquarters, and this entire whole western desert underground network with tons of dumbs and more that lead all the way to Mount Shasta in California. I covered some of this on the Supernatural Desert Comp. Supernatural Desert Mysteries is what it's called. And by the way, if desert isn't your buzzword, I understand. I maybe wouldn't click on a title like that. However, you're sleeping on it. There is so much tons of information in that video if you haven't seen it. Don't rely solely on just what I title things, because there's going to be tons of other information I always go into. That one is definitely one of the most slept on episodes in my opinion. And there is probably also some truth to this clip about a pyramid being underneath it. The Stargate theory is a very plausible theory here, tying in with all the star maps that you see everywhere, and the star and compass and all the symbolism. Of course, it is in fact on a ley line, and Hoover himself and this weird ceremony to dedicate it. Check out this clip.
Dams are a very strange thing, and it's very obvious at this point that they're not just for generating energy or to manage flooding. The Hoover Dam, we're told, had a dedicated ceremony where President Roosevelt gave a speech attended by thousands of people and broadcasted nationally in 1935, featuring two winged figures, two massive bronze statues that still sit at the site today, right at the base of the dam's dedication plaza. I mean, we can just look at this for a second. I think anybody with eyes can figure out the symbolism here. I think we all know which group made this one. You can look right at the floor and you will know. Between the winged figures, the compass rose, the celestial star chart, tying the architecture to the stars. This is exactly the kind of ritual that they do all the time. This is clear as day now. Zodiac and astronomical symbols. All of this with the date of September 30th, 1935 at exactly 8:56 p.m. Why that time? Why exactly 8:56 p.m.? Where at this exact time, Jupiter and Saturn were both prominent in the sky.
All this also ties into what presidents actually are, and it's a presidential bloodline. They are all related to the same people. This is just a chosen bloodline that's used to do some of these, quote, important things on Earth. The occult need permission, by the way. The fallen, they need permission to do a lot of things. So these certain people in positions of authority, it's what they are actually used for. Beware of people who sneakily ask for permission for things. It's a major witchcraft strategy. But voting, as in voting for presidents, has nothing to do with who's going to be elected. It's all about gauging where the public is spiritually and mentally and how far along they are for their end game. Gauging them spiritually and mentally used to manipulate them into that end game, all while getting permission from the people to do it. And the idea is, look, God, we got permission legally. We have permission from the people of Earth to do this. They want. By the way, check out this quick clip about the occult and permission. There is absolute truth to this.
Vampires cannot enter a house uninvited. Turns out they invented welcome mats to bypass this rule decades ago. That makes so much sense. Vampires created welcome mats. Oh my...
Well, there goes your welcome mat. Also, the Hoover Dam is connected to Vegas. It maybe even is what powers Sin City, which is obviously what Vegas is called. Vegas being in the middle of a desert with absolutely no water at all there, this water has to be coming from somewhere. Also, this whole area is near Area 51 in the whole Groom Lake area UFO hotspot. Also, even new weird towers emerging near Area 51 for uses. Probably no good for the public or the public's health. Again, referencing this mega underground cluster of supernatural activity, all hidden right underneath that whole desert area. Also, the Vegas Space Needle and the Vegas Eye, all weird and have a technological use. Very strange. One of the things that the Eye shows is like a real people trapped in hell footage, basically, and other weird stuff, but it is kind of like a giant AI fallen angel eye to see everything. Vegas also having a Liberty and an Eiffel Tower. Again, all Masonic symbolism that's all over the world, worldwide. And Vegas being a total microcosm of the world, of the pagan occult world, its symbolism and its structures. Vegas is a microcosm of that. Even the replica structures probably have a technological use. Hoover Dam, weird element occult tie-in of sacrifices where over 100 deaths and people were sacrificed in the making of it. Probably not a coincidence either how the first and last to die were father and son, which is, common bloodline ritual sacrifice. Viewed as a strange, quote, coincidence. By the way, if you haven't seen Scripted Reality, you definitely need to check that out. Coincidences that aren't coincidences. Examining the Hoover Dam further with words like Thuban, which is Draco, a dragon, it literally means serpent. That is what Thuban means. Also, huge bronze angelic statues, and bronze means judgment in the Bible, by the way. But Thuban was the North Star of the ancient Egyptians at the time of the Great Pyramid. Maybe even tying into the pyramid theory. But recently, a lot of the imagery has been covered up, including the Masonic compass at the Hoover Dam. Also, the star map has a marker to indicate the location of Vega as the new North Star in 12,000 years. Vega and Vegas. Wrapping up here, but the whole fallen angel vibe, dragons, star alignments, and this dam producing a whole lot of energy. What does it power? What is it hiding? Tons of sealed off chambers and restricted zones where workers can't even go. Tons of deep tunnels that are not used for power or maintenance. Again, probably entrances to the underworld or these things hidden below. Possibly powering quantum angel technology and entities. Maybe only time will tell. Again, there are huge, mega destructive angels imprisoned underground physically on Earth. How fun that will be once they're released. We'll just take that and have some nice warm fuzzy dreams in our next hotel on the road to the next stop.
Some tell me we ain't in Kansas anymore. All that noise that used to be cool ain't cool anymore. Hit the trunk, then I hit the trap. I ain't pitching funk, I'm here to grip the clap. The devil took a chunk, I'm here to get it back. I introduced him to the sun, he don't know how to act.
Get it, water game's good.
You can sell your soul, but I don't think you should. You know what you gotta do to be in Hollywood? You don't wanna know, but you probably should. Ride time through the nighttime, fight time till the light shines. So neon hit my eye line, I'm Dion spraying prime time. It'll be okay, I won't lose. Thinking I should seize the day, stand firm and don't move. Got a mustard tree of faith, still win if I lose.
Zone out.
Let the wheel spin as I cruise. Yeah, daily delicious double doses of the scriptures. Pray, play your positions, keep it going, coming with ya. Fresh off revival, the driver's feeling so archetypal. Circular cycles, disciples' lives are scrolled out in Bibles. Including rivals and lovers, your life a book that's titled by the Father. Go no further than to look inside you. Say your goodbyes, leave the world behind, we out of time. Devil out my way, if you in my lane, you out of line.
We've made it all the way across the coast, here to California, here at Mount Shasta, the final spot. This area ties in exclusively with Lemurians, Mu, and ancient civilizations. Tons of sightings, beings, and anomalies here. A belief that there is an advanced civilization within the mountain and or below, again with entrances and gateways. Also weird energy and frequencies coming from within and below the mountain. The 1.6 gigahertz frequency anomaly, again here at Mount Shasta, also being recorded at other anomalous sites like this, like the Skinwalker Ranch inside of the mysterious mesa that's there. Probably similar things maybe underneath there.
In Northern California, Mount Shasta seems to be a center of gravity for phenomena that is very similar to what we've been seeing here at Skinwalker Ranch. Everything from UFO or UAP phenomena to electromagnetic anomalies, strange creatures, and other activity that has been reported for decades, if not millennia, and people seem drawn to that area. It has a very profound impact.
When they did experiments there, they found Earth to space frequency communication channels as well. and they measured huge spikes in signals coming and going, along with tons of orbs and figures and things streaking across the sky. Another hot spot for this type of activity, and voices projected right into people's heads, and people just being eerily drawn to this place. So tons of them. The main common report here is multiple reports, tons of them, of the tall Nordic species within, and their pop-up doors that they come through, just doors that pop up that they walk right through. The four most common alien sightings are all biblical, by the way, basically. Nordic are the angelic-like, even fallen angels can appear as angels of light. There is a verse for that warns you about that. The reptilians, obviously, that is in every culture, these draconian entities. And the Greys are their little automaton type of technology that they created. And the mantis is a frequent theme with gods and underground, interdimensional, ayahuasca DMT rituals in throne rooms demanding worship. And these weird ceremonies. Also, reports of mantis beings coming through Wi-Fi to torment people. Things like Wi-Fi and even apps where demons coming through Zoom apps and just tons of other stories like this. And then obviously some stories are just stories, but some stories also are not stories. They're based off of real truth and actually happen. Also, a wild theory, speaking of this, there's a lot more to it, but how toilets, that's right, toilets are used as demonic portals into your house and can be used by the dark side to attack families. Also, there is this coming out of the toilet, so beware when you sit down. Living in Thailand, Asia, and other places is almost like a different planet. Huge king cobra snakes or pythons coming right out of the toilet sometimes. Anyway, back to Mount Shasta, the advanced breakaway civilization lore. Who wouldn't want to join that rather than stay here in Satan's funhouse? Again, that's part of the lore. Fortunately, there is a very real way to make it to the highest advanced breakaway civilization, where there will be no pain, no tears, and no memory of anything painful, with the only one who can fully be trusted, even when you just don't understand this experience at all. Faith wouldn't be faith if you knew and just lived a perfect life. So before you pull mad, desperate acts of desperation and try to join one of these underground, probably fallen angel secret societies, just take heart and know that this is all coming to an end soon, and you can make it to the real breakaway civilization if you stay true.
Came a long way like the sun's light. But not in one night, a lifetime for me to get something right. But now I bring the Holy Spirit to a gunfight. Trust them with my everything, it only look like hell won. Endure the highway to heaven and hear well done. Endure the highway to heaven and hear well done.
Tons of other things hidden in plain sight and conspiracies all over the realm, even here in the US, even about the Great Lakes and Lake Michigan, how the official story is not what happened. They're not on old maps. They were created. The way it said they were created is actually impossible. And even other people have theories about things being hidden under those lakes, so they intentionally flooded them again to hide things from the old world and this mega technology, and basically proof of the Bible and the whole narrative about giants and everything that they and the Smithsonian and all these power entities and organizations always try to cover up. Also tying in with all of the pyramids, giant burial mounds all over America, the land of giants and serpents. Just ask any native tribe or Honest Abe. They all talk about them. And even Memphis, how Memphis, Egypt, but here in Memphis they have to have this huge pyramid, which is now a Bass Pro Shop and has a really ironic story about it. Not only are the things all around you hidden, maybe even literally under your feet right now, but there's a lot of things hidden in words. Tons of things, actually, and I'll do an episode about it one day. I say all of this to say this, and this is the biggest point of all, is that the biggest thing that people overlook is the ancient way. The way, totally psyoped out by the Matrix. There is way more to the Bible than meets the eye. I know I have a lot of Gnostic followers and other followers who aren't Christian. And that's fine, it's still love from Savage Truth. However, just like all these places, there's a lot more to them, things hidden in plain sight and things covered up and sat by the Matrix. I would say the biggest of all of them is the Bible, is the Word of God, is the true account of the ancient way. So look a little bit deeper. And on your road trip and journey of life, I hope you make it. Life's highway, always have the destination in mind. The road can get difficult, dangerous, and even hopeless at times. But if you follow the map, you'll make it home. Again, go deeper. Deep calls unto deep. Do you hear it? See you next time on The Savage Truth.
About the blam, worthy is the lamb, embezzled in cherubim. I'm stepping in reverence and they bowing, it's evident, praising the one who heaven sent. Seven spirits drip glory, shining history's history, pierced and ripped for me, crown of thorns, spit on the whip for me. Could have called angels to crow me, but you live lowly, low key, but you still so holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, bow with the seraphim. We get most of that heroin, did the apprentice you hit like medicine, hiding presidential, flying up in heavens when your head will spin. Straight adrenaline, telling them you better than them, and you're so holy, headed for death, but you gave me life. It's the evidence that only you could hold me down. As a downshift, sit down, swift, lift up, big sounds in his name now. Lay down his feet, drop a big crown, make it pray sound. We will all never stay found. Cloud of witnesses, went the distance with, then you made us so free. Can't believe you the name above all names, but still you know me. Came down, took that tree like a G, and then you shed that blood for me. Watch them thunders cry out, wonder, Lord, because you so holy. Let it be chronicled, leaving 99, bring home the prodigal. See a Galilean, what you going nautical? Honestly, I'll go anywhere that you wanna go, gotta go. For the new rules, go so pure, you can see through iridescent jewels, especially you. Wash me away in your holy deep blue. Holy.
Focus, the final distance of the path lies ahead. You've leveled up, stay true to the end.
Agents of the Matrix only exist to make me like them. I won't be like them. I won't be like them. Faith is what you make it, only exists to be more like him.